This message is particularly intended for all diplomatic representations in Armenia. Regarding the recent actions of the Armenian police during peaceful protests demanding the resignation of the Prime Minister. It was also very alarming and disgraceful, I might say, to see today the police form a human wall before the Catholicos to hinder his entrance into the monuments of Sardarabad. Such methods and the use of brute, harsh, and disproportionate force against civilians of all genders and ages, elderly, women, children, including members of parliament who enjoy immunity, marks troubling escalation in the state's response to legitimate democratic expressions of dissent. The situation in Armenia is alarming. With diminished sovereignty and growing internal dissent, the government has increasingly resorted to authoritarian measures to maintain control. This shift towards an authoritarian police state, particularly since the end of the 44-day war, has severely eroded civil liberties, stifled political opposition, and concentrated power in the hands of a very few, if not just one person. The prioritization of use of force and suppression over democratic processes to manage internal instability and dissent leaves Armenia vulnerable to further exploitation and external influence. The international community must not turn a blind eye to these developments. The actions of the Armenian police represent not only a blatant disregard for human rights and the rule of law, but also a dangerous precedent that threatens the democratic fabric of our nation. The violent suppression of peaceful protests undermines the fundamental principles of democracy and human rights that we all hold dear. We urge you, I personally urge you as ambassadors of countries that champion democracy and human rights, to publicly condemn the recent police actions in Armenia. Your condemnation will send a powerful message to the Armenian authorities that the international community is watching and will not tolerate the erosion of democratic freedoms, whatever is left now in Armenia, and human rights abuses. Furthermore, I believe we should advocate for immediate and independent investigations into these incidents and call for accountability for those responsible for ordering and carrying out these acts of violence. Such measures are crucial in ensuring that Armenia does not continue down the path of authoritarianism and that the rights and freedoms of its citizens are protected. Armenia stands at a crossroads. The continued rise in authoritarian governance, if held unchecked, will only lead to further instability and suffering for the Armenian people. It is imperative that the international community stands in solidarity with the citizens of Armenia in their fight for democracy, freedom of expression, and respect for Armenia's sovereignty and territorial integrity. Thank you.